Welcome back for Psalm 48. And in Psalm 48, we have a continuation, maybe close to a wrap up of some of the themes that we've been dealing with since Psalm 45. And I'm just going to read through the psalm first, and then I'll go back for some of my comments on it. Only a couple thoughts to add, since a lot of what could be said has already been said about those previous psalms. So here we go, Psalm 48. Great is the Lord and most worthy of praise in the city of our God, his holy mountain. It is beautiful in its loftiness, the joy of the whole earth. Like the utmost heights of Zaphon is Mount Zion, the city of the great King. God is in her citadels. He has shown himself to be her fortress. When the kings joined forces, when they advanced together, they saw her and were astounded. They fled in terror. Trembling seized them there, pain like that of a woman in labor. You destroyed them like ships of Tarshish, shattered by an east wind. As we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord Almighty, in the city of our God. God makes her secure forever. Within your temple, O God, we meditate on your unfailing love. Like your name, O God, your praise reaches to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is filled with righteousness. Mount Zion rejoices. The villages of Judah are glad because of your judgments. Walk about Zion, go around her, count her towers, consider well her ramparts, view her citadels, that you may tell of them to the next generation. For this God is our God, forever and ever. He will be our guide, even to the end. So one of the thoughts that popped out immediately as I first read this, it was in verse 9. Within your temple, O God, we meditate on your unfailing love. And so it shouldn't surprise us that we see this here. As we meditate on God's love, we're often going to come back to very similar thoughts as we think about some of the same things over and over again. So when we get to Psalm 48 and we see themes repeated that we've already talked about, again, it's no surprise. As we meditate on God's saving love, it doesn't mean we have to always find new things, new and shiny things to be impressed with. We can keep taking out treasures old as well. Jesus points teachers in the church to do that. He says, who's that faithful steward who brings out treasures old and new in their time? So we just meditate it all the time. And verse 12 kind of continues that, and that kind of leads into the next thought I want to discuss. Walk about Zion, go around her, count her towers. So again, look at that. Zion is a reference not only to the physical city of Jerusalem, or at least a portion of it, but also to the church, which was centered in Jerusalem. The gospel originally spread out from there as the good news of what Christ had done was sent out into all the earth. And Zion can also be a reference to the heavenly church, the city of believers that are with their Lord already and then will be forever. But walk about Zion, go around her, count her towers, consider well her ramparts. When you consider Mount Zion, Jerusalem, the hill that it refers to, it's not the tallest hill, even in all of Israel. It's not the biggest mountain. But it's not glorious and exalted because of its physical appearance, its physical features. It's glorious because of what takes place there. And the same thing can be said of the church, right? In Jerusalem is where the great King, Christ, came to offer himself as the sacrifice. In church, the building might not be anything fancy, and the people who meet in that building might not might not be fancy themselves. But what they gather around, the word and the sacraments that proclaim what God has done for his people, that's impressive. And so as we meditate on God's love, as we consider all those things, we are just confirmed more and more in our faith and our trust in God. This is our God forever and ever. So again, nothing terribly new to consider in this psalm, but it doesn't make it any less beautiful when we consider all that God has done and will do for us, and that he promises to be our God forever. Truly, we have a delightful inheritance to look forward to. And that's all I have for Psalm 48 for you. Hopefully, as usual, I will see you again for Psalm 49.